Let's spend a moment, Prashant, on the India Alliance. The fourth meeting of the India Alliance happened in New Delhi this week. In the way that the India Alliance is shaping up, where do you see this end up in terms of their hope of having one candidate of the opposition versus one candidate of the BJP in at least 400 seats? Do you see it come together, or do you think this will be all talk, a lot of bluster, and very little to show meaningfully in the end?
Well, first of all, this one candidate against BJP is, to my mind, it's a theoretical idea. If you see in almost about 300 odd seats, there is already one candidate against BJP. So what you can achieve is probably additional 100 seats where you can cut down on some parties' vote share by 10, which is getting 10%, 15%, which could add to the advantage to those who are fighting with BJP, but I'm not so sure about it. So this whole idea that any alliance would ensure one candidate against BJP is largely a theoretical idea. Because say in Bengal, in Uttar Pradesh, if suppose in Uttar Pradesh Congress fights alone and Sapa fights alone, Congress gets 4-5% vote. That even if you bring them all both together, nobody knows for sure that that vote gets added. And even if it gets added, the margin of BJP victory in Uttar Pradesh is probably more than that. So I don't see, purely from the mathematical point of view, putting one candidate against BJP is a great idea, or it's something that can be the game changer. Practically, it's already happening in 300 seats, like in all Hindi heartland, most of the Hindi heartland, it is Congress which is taking on directly the BJP. So it's already 1-to-1. In West Bengal, it's TMC which is taking on BJP. It's already 1-to-1. In Uttar Pradesh, it is Sapa taking on BJP. Last time even BSP was in alliance. So it was already 1-to-1. So in Maharashtra, this India alliance is already in alliance together. It is going to be 1-to-1. So purely 1-to-1 is not going to be the game changer. As far as India alliance is concerned, I don't think this one effort on the part of opposition parties are going to be sufficient enough, at least not what we have seen till date, to defeat BJP. BJP is well ahead, to my mind, as of now. And if India alliance has to do well against BJP, they have to do dramatically something very different, something which probably we have not factored in right now. And also within India alliance, it is primarily the Congress which will be taking on BJP in more than 250 seats. They have to do very well in those 250 seats. If they get the strike rate of 30-40%, then only BJP can be defeated.
No, so what
unless
can be
Congress's
that game changer?
Strike rate against India alliance, I'm telling you, unless Congress's strike rate, forget about India alliance, the end of the day, unless Congress's strike rate vis-a-vis BJP goes above 30%, there is no chance for any alliance against BJP, because it's Congress which is taking on BJP in 250 odd seats. Last time, Congress's strike against BJP, vis-a-vis BJP, is less than 5%. Please take note of this. Whatever MPs Congress has won last time, they have won in Kerala, there was no BJP. They won in Tamil Nadu, they were not fighting BJP. They won in Punjab, there was no BJP. So bulk of the existing Congress MPs have come where Congress was not fighting BJP. So unless game changer is if Congress is able to defeat BJP where they are taking on BJP head on.
No, so what could that be? Is a cricketing analogy, it almost seems as if it's Afghanistan versus Australia, and we usually know how that ends. If you were coach and strategist of the Afghanistan team at this moment, do you have a strategy or at least the outline of what you think could be a potential game changer idea which breathes some life into the moribund Congress?
No, Congress, the strategy, I don't know, I have nobody to suggest them a strategy. The biggest strategy they need to take on table is they have to first accept that they are moribund. The problem is Congress is never ready to accept that fact. Whenever I have dealt with them 2 years back, now I'm no longer dealing with them, but they simply, so long you continue to refuse and live in denial, you're not going to get better results. The problem is not that there is no better strategy to take on BJP. The problem is Congress doesn't want to accept that they are moribund and they need to do things differently. Exactly what I told you in Madhya Pradesh. BJP, despite all their might, they realized that they made mistake in Madhya Pradesh and they made the amends this time. Congress, despite the fact that they are moribund, they continue with the same strategy, same policy, same narrative, same chat, same approach. So obviously they are not going to get any advantage of it. So if I can give one piece of advice, I would say, please accept that your organization in the large part of Hindi heartland is all but dead. Unless you accept it, you cannot make corrections.
That is a very important point, that accept that there is a problem, because the problem is staring you in the face. It keeps coming back to bite you, and yet the Congress at this moment doesn't seem to want to accept that. One of the ideas that's been thrown up this week is the idea of making Mallikarjun Kharge, the current Congress president, the prime ministerial face of the India alliance. Mamata Banerjee and Arvind Kejriwal have both suggested this idea. Do you see there is some traction there in this attempt to try and stitch the Dalits, the Muslims and some other communities together, depending on which party is in alliance, but basically by projecting Mallikarjun Kharge as the prime ministerial face to take on Prime Minister Modi?
Well, Rahul, I'm a believer that if you do something, right or wrong, it would have some impact. Say when India Alliance called themselves India instead of calling themselves UPA, definitely there has been a chatter, there was a buzz, but they stopped there. Similarly, if they announce a face, whether it is Mr. Kharge or somebody else, definitely it will add some more jing to what they are trying to do. But the irony here is that Mr. Kharge's name was proposed by Ms. Mamata Banerjee and Kejriwal. His own party did not necessarily back the idea. Mr. Kharge is the president of Congress. So if it would have proposed by Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal and backed solidly by Congress, then it would have got merit to discuss. I do agree that if Mr. Kharge is made a prime ministerial face on the part of India Alliance, it would definitely add some it would give some advantage to India Alliance, because he is a tall leader, senior leader. How much, that I don't know, because he is from South India. And largely the battle with BJP is in North and the Hindi heartland. But definitely, rather than having no face, if you would have a face, it would have an advantage.
No, but can you try and quantify this? If you were strategizing this decision, what would be the vote share gain that you potentially attribute to the decision, if it's taken, of appointing Mallikarjun Kharge as the prime ministerial face of the India Alliance?
Well, any decision, if you appear to be tentative or unsure in taking that decision, it is not going to give you the result. What I'm trying to tell you, that when they form the alliance, they have not been decisive. They are still struggling with the seats, narrative faces. When they are announcing the name, then there was only one moment then where they all appeared united, which was that was on renaming UPA to India, and that gave them the advantage. All over India, people are talking about the alliance being called India. But after that, they have been tentative on every strategic move, be it narrative, be it a common minimum program, be it seat sharing, be it the face. If Mr. Kharge or anybody else for that matter,
who do you think is best suited to be the prime ministerial face, Prashant? Who do you think is best suited to be the PM?
Hear me out. No, I'm not here to do that. I am making a strategic comment here. Whoever you want to present as a face, it is important that you are decisive about that decision. In the case of Mr. Kharge, it again appears that some two important allies have made the suggestion, which is not necessarily backed fully by Congress. Mr. Kharge himself almost immediately backed out. So in that case, when the proposers of the name or the proposition are not sure, how do you expect the people to get galvanized with that idea?